is when I set up my transition area, and I've really tried to take as little as possible. So I always take this. You never know when you need toilet paper. But when I set up a transition area, pretend the bike's here. So that's my bike is racked here. And what I'll normally do is find out before I come to another reason I come to the race early is to spot where the exits are, where the swim in is, where the bike out, because you don't want to be running around. You have a great transition and then you're lost. You're looking for an exit. I've done that before. So you want to be able to put your shoes wherever it's going to be. You're coming in on the swim. If I'm coming in on this side of the bike, I want to make sure my bike shoes and everything are right here. Normally I'll just put a small towel down and that's it. Usually buckets of water if you have a long beach run, but I've never done it before. I've never had any problem. So I'll just have a towel that I step on here, and then I throw the shoes on, my helmet, which I always check before I do a race, because this thing always collapses on me. So I'm always checking before to make sure it fits. It hasn't shrunk, because I've done it before where I try to put it on and it's sitting on top of my head like this, and that doesn't work very well. So I have the helmet out like that with my sunglasses open and down here. So I put my shoes on, I've got to put that on, the helmet on, and then I get on the bike. And with the bike, the real important thing to do is another reason you want to scope out the race, like kinetic. You did that, and you're mounting basically on a hill. So you've got to make sure your bike is in an easy gear. You don't want to get on your bike and all of a sudden it's in the hardest gear and you fall off. You can't do anything. So make sure you practice going up and down the transition a little bit before. Find out the best gear to be in and keep it in that gear. And make sure what I do is I make sure that pedal is down. So when I get on my bike, I'm running with it like this. Always have your helmet fastened before you get out of the transition area. And then just click in, and I'm leading the bike, I'm over top of it, and then I'm off, and I'm taking off. Some people will put on their bike shoes on the bike and then mount it later. I've gone by a lot of people like that because they're fiddling around there and they're trying to put it on, and I'm already taking off. So depending on the race, if it's muddy, I might even just carry my shoes and a towel with me, and I'll wipe my feet off. Sometimes Columbia's like that, running up that hill. But basically, I put my shoes on in transition, and don't try to put them on while you're on the bike, because there's a lot of chaos at the beginning of the bike. A lot of people don't know what they're doing. And it's just, I don't think it's worth it for a couple seconds. And I don't even really think it gives you that much free time. So I put that on before I get on. And let's see, go out, you do your bike ride, you're coming back in. When you're starting to come back in, you're thinking about transition again. And it's the same in the water. Those last 100 yards, you kind of want to think about transition, where you're running in, where your bike is. You want to know which rack it is, where it is. When you're coming in on the bike, I tend to just shift to a lower gear, kind of spin easy, get the legs loosened up. I'll stand if I can, stretch my calves out, because you want to be able to run as fast as you can right off of the bike. So I'll stretch out. And what I do is when I'm on my bike, I'll just tell you. When having bike shoes, those I will unstrap while I'm coming in, because a lot of times, depending on the race, if it's an uphill finish, you can't obviously take your shoes off. But usually you can coast, and I'll just take my straps off, put my feet on top of my shoes, and I'll coast in. And so when I get off the bike, that's the first thing I do is just pop off and start running. Keep your helmet on. I always keep my helmet and glasses on. Well, I keep my glasses on all the time. But always keep my helmet on until you get to the bike, because you don't want to get disqualified. You don't want to get any penalties or anything like that.
So you would advise not trying to have pre-clipped-in shoes, but at the end, take out before you get to the...
Yeah, at the end, it's different at the end. At the beginning, it's hard because you don't have any momentum, and you're getting on the bike, and you're trying to pedal up to speed, and there's a lot of, I had a guy at what was the race?
Kinetic.
Yeah, it was at Kinetic. And he's banging into me. And he's like, I'm sorry. And I said, that's all right. I said, lean on me if you need to, but I can't pull you the whole way. And he just starts laughing, and I just take off. But he came into me twice. Usually that happens on a swim. You know, if I'm trying to put my shoes on and he had done that, I would have been down. So luckily, you know, I had my shoes on already. You know, if you like it and you prefer it to do it that way, I mean, that would be something I would definitely practice a lot.
Yeah.
But I think that's a hard skill. And, you know, they make clips that you can put on to keep your shoes, or you can put rubber bands or whatever. You know, if you can do it, more power to you. And some races I think are better. Like Eagle Man is flat; it would probably be easier to race like that. I feel I'm faster the other way, but some people might be faster. I mean, a lot of the top pros, you'll see them. You know, they'll put them on as they're going. You know, it's personal preference, really.
Yeah, I've never tried that. Some people say it worked for them. Some people say it doesn't.
Yeah, well, I don't know how much time it saves. I mean, you might be a little bit quicker getting out of transition, but I'm up to speed faster than you are because I'm taking off and you're still kind of coasting, trying to put your shoes on. So, you know, it probably evens in the end, but I think there's less chance of mishap if you do it the other way. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is not wrecking and, you know, get through it in one piece.
Hey Kip, when you're coming on the bike, right, into, I guess I don't know maybe I just don't know the rules, but should you go past the line, the line before you start like running with it and you know, clipping in and straddling and going? Because because I'm not used to that yet, I haven't practiced it. I just stand at the line there, stationary, clip in and then go.
It depends. I mean, if you like at Kinetic, you can't, you know.
Yeah, you couldn't really do that.
Anyway,
yeah.
So you just kind of, you know, do whatever. But yeah, I mean, you know, if it's a flat race, you know, I might be running along like that and just jump on. And what was I saying before? You put your pedal down on this side, so you're pushing down like that, and then you're taking off. So you have your off-foot pedal is going down. The chain comes off. You always check your chain before you go.
You're showing us all the good things, Kip.
Yeah, I'll show you all the mistakes to make. So with these pedals, you can clip in. That's why I like speed play. There's no right side to them.
There's no right side to them.
A lot of times with other pedals, you know, you're trying to flip them up, and it's really hard. Speed play, I think they're lighter. I think they're faster. And with your water bottle, this cage carries the water bottles low, which is more aerodynamic. It's also a lot easier to mount your bike. You got to be real careful if you have a higher. You got two big water bottles on the back. So best way to do it is lean your bike and then step on like that and take off. Then you don't have to worry about clearing. And the same thing for dismounting. Lean the bike so you don't have to worry about, you know, I see people get hooked up and they'll fall over. So that's one of the best ways to do it, is just lean it and then hop on like that. And that makes it a lot quicker. And then the run,